The first part that we need to do in order to create a great white shark painting is do an underdrawing. So we're going to start out using some guides. You're going to do one horizontal line going across the canvas and about the center. You're going to do one vertical line. See how loosely I'm holding my pencil and doing my lines. Nothing too intense right here. Do it very lightly. You don't want it too dark or else it may show through your painting at the very end. Once you have your main guidelines right here, you're going to develop two parallel lines that go along each core line. So do two parallel lines that go horizontally, just like so, and then two that go vertically on either side of the original guide, just like that. So you see, I don't need to be perfect, little squares. We don't need to have a perfect grid. It's not the point of this. This is just to give you an idea of how to build form and shape and have a few more constraints. So whenever you're developing our shark, which is going to be the first thing that we get in here, we're going to start with a center line. And if you've been following any of our how to draw lessons, you're going to see this is a very familiar technique that we use. So you're going to start over here on the far left side. This is going to be where our tail is in these two squares. You're going to curve like a J hook, swoop up, and then come back down, come a little bit more, swoop back down to a point over here. So what we're creating here is the movement of our shark. So this is going to be the head and the point of the nose, sweeping down across the body, and then curving back around with our tail behind the shark. So we're going to be creating perspective in this piece, so we'll be showing you step by step how to develop this so it makes sense. So the first thing you're going to do is create your torpedo shape, starting from down here at this little J hook area. You're going to come from the tapered point and you're going to get a little bit bigger, swoop up, and come over here to this point. And you're going to swoop down below, just like so. So you see we're getting pretty rotund in this area, and that's because, again, we're trying to make perspective, and our shark's face and gill area is all going to be in this portion of the shark. So you see that this guideline that we used wasn't necessarily a perfect center line. It's not really the point of it. It's just really a point of reference for you to use as you're developing the form. So let's have our tail curve back. Just like that. I'm going to add a little bit more thickness to the tail right here, or the lower back of our shark. It doesn't matter if we're sketching all over the place, guys. It's all going to be painted over anyways, so no worries there. We're going to probably end up shaving off some of this hump up here. That's a-okay. We'll do that when we're painting. So now go ahead and bring the point of your nose out a bit more. Curve it down, just like so. So you're going to meet one of your down here, but you're going to meet one of the blocks or get near it. Curve up and back, just like this. So they have this funny little smirk. So you just curl up, so it's a little bowl, and then you go the opposite direction, just like that. And then you add in a nice little curve, a little sideways C right here. That's going to be his little smiling face. You're going to make a big old chunky cheek and jaw, round out a bit, and curve down the belly, a little bit more, defining that. And now his eye is going to go directly in the middle of your jaw. Where your mouth is in the middle. Go right up, put a big old circle right there. And then just a little over to the right, you're going to do a V and connect that down, and that's going to be the nostrils of your great white shark. So now we're going to go ahead and add in a cone, or like a curved line. It's going to take up about half of your shark. So you see how I'm using my hands, just estimates here. It's about half, about half. You're going to create this nice curved line at about the halfway mark, and this is going to be where your last gill is. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in. It's pretty large, so just keep that in mind that they have very large gills, and it takes up a good portion of the side of the body. So just stack those gills on top of each other, and there's 5 of them. Just like so. And then you can shoot it all the way over here, curve it to the eye. And this is gonna kind of curve up towards the cheek. And this is gonna be painted over, but this is just so you can really get a feel for where your gills are gonna go ahead of time before you're in the middle of the painting process. So immediately after getting your gills in, your pectoral fins start right below your last gill. So just have like a little point if that helps you. And then it's going to come out at a very strong diagonal angle. So it's going to go pew, shoot out here, going to curve back. It's going to be a pretty large fin in comparison to the rest of the body because again, we're creating that perspective. So this fin is actually would be the closest thing to us with the perspective that we're creating. Now you're going to make a horizontal line coming from that same point, kind of a little slight curve to it. Then it's going to hook around, so you go shoop, curve around, and then you come down and meet your point down here. This is looking really good, guys, but you can't forget to add in that pectoral fin that's back here. So it's going to shoot down at almost a vertical angle, but it's just a curved vertical angle. And then it curves over here. They have a very sharp point to that pectoral fin. And now our dorsal fin is actually going to be right above our pectoral fin. Start up here. You're just going to see where I just did these 2 vertical lines. So right where the end point, where you put this like little point right here, you're going to shoot up right there. And you're going to go over a little bit, make a nice curve, and then come down almost at a perfect vertical line. Excellent, guys. You're doing amazing. I can't wait to see your great white shark drawings. So next we're going to add in our caudal fin, or the tail. So the tail is going to start after the curve. It's not going to start over here. So you make sure you leave this little curve hook that we have right here, and it's going to start a little bit over, about ½ an inch over, and it's going to have a nice curve just like so, and then you just bring it straight down, and then you can't forget the lower portion of the caudal fin. It's also going to come down like a little sail right down there. And now I actually made it a little too tall. It's not going to go higher than your dorsal fin, so keep that in mind. This fin will not be taller than this one. It will throw off your perspective, so keep that in mind, guys. The last thing we got to add is our pelvic fin, and the pelvic fin is going to start just about where our caudal fin line is, like if there's this line right here, this vertical line, if that were there, except you're going to start it a little over. So go over about ½ an inch, and that's going to be where your fin starts. And you do just like that. So it looks a lot like our big pectoral fin, except it's just a lot smaller. So just like that, we have our great white shark all drawn in. Might not be pristine and perfect, but as we develop our painting, this will really help us get this make this a very realistic piece. Now with this part done, we're gonna go ahead and take a break, and then we'll hop into doing our background, filling in all the pretty gradient, and getting our base color blocking layers in the next part of this lesson.